excellent.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So I'm giving him a day or two to get a professional cleaner in. And also, I'm really lazy and I don't want to repack and, have to find a new place and move with all my bags and my kit.
Your reaction to this whole situation could not be more different from what my reaction would be. So,
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry to hear about your cat pee troubles, but it seems like you're not doing a whole lot to extricate yourself from this situation
Now that I
because
say
you
it
don't
out
want to
loud.
move your bags.
Now that I say it out loud, I see that it sounds silly. But from my perspective, leave it with me. Let's do some follow-up from the last episode,
Okay.
which I believe was about all sorts of things as usual. It was about advertising, clutter in the house, funnily enough.
Yes.
There was a bit of freebooting in there as well.
Yes.
Were there any things you were particularly keen to follow up? I've probably talked enough for now.
Yes. Well, the first thing that I wanted to follow up is talking about reviews that we have gotten. I was checking this afternoon and I made a little spreadsheet. For this episode, we actually have a bunch.
What are the new countries, or is it too long a list? I want to see if you've been to any.
In alphabetical order. They are Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Croatia, the Czech Republic, the Dominican Republic, France, Hong Kong, Hungary, Iceland, India, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malaysia, New Zealand, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Singapore, Slovakia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Venezuela, and Vietnam. Yeah, they go through and leave very nice reviews. So, just very impressive, this whole bunch. But I was very happy to see that we had Iceland there. Iceland was the least populous of the bunch of countries that left reviews. They have 321,000 people, and we got a review from there. And I was very happy to see that because I actually went to Iceland for a trip with my wife a while back when we were newly married, and it was just one of my favorite trips that I ever took. The country was just beautiful, and we did a road trip that went around the whole exterior of the island, and it was just amazing. And if I'm ever fortunate enough to have the chance, I will totally love to go back to Iceland at some point. So,
did you go into the interior?
No, we didn't go into the interior. That I think maybe again, if I get to go again, we might do a trip sort of across the island going into the interior. I don't know. Have you been to Iceland?
I have not. I really want to go. I've been reading a lot about it lately too, because I've been reading all these chess books, and obviously the Bobby Fischer, Boris Spassky sort of game of the century was held in Iceland.
There seems to be, per capita, an unusual amount of artistic creativity that comes from Iceland. So there are a lot of bands that are from Iceland that are unusually good, and on Flickr, for example, it's a photography website. Some of the most amazing photographers you're ever going to come across, they're all from Iceland, partly because they have amazing things to photograph, but the technical quality of their photos are so great. And it comes up all the time. And I wonder if this is a byproduct of, since they're so far north, you have a lot of time during the winter to try and perfect your craft. You don't have a lot of distractions. So I wonder if people are indoors, working on and thinking about their own particular hobbies and creative pursuits, because it seems like an unusually creative country per capita. Anyway, so Iceland, I have a lot of positive feelings towards them.
This episode of Hello Internet was brought to you by the Iceland Tourism Commission.
Yes.
I have a grey-like correction to make.
Do you?
I wouldn't normally do this, but I thought it would just appeal to you. In the previous episode, I referred to a Mr. Johnny Fingers from the Boomtown Rats, who I had met a few times at a Japanese music festival. And I referred to him, I believe, as an Englishman. He is, of course, and very obviously, Irish.
That's bad, Brady.
I know. That is bad. Especially someone, Irish heritage like myself. So I apologise for this mistake. I realised it very soon afterwards. Thought maybe I'd get away with it. Someone did point it out on the Reddit. You got apologies.
Good. I'm glad you've corrected your error.
I know. I thought you'd like that. You love that kind of stuff.
I appreciate that you took the time to set the record straight.
All right. You got another follow-up? I've got a couple here.
Well, what do you have?
Clutter
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting discussion we had last time. This was obviously the fact that you sort of despise objects and trinkets and items in the house. And I remember thinking at the time to myself, as the conversation unfolded, everything that was said just made you sound like this uber cool man of the future and this sort of high-tech, amazing person, and made me sound like some weird hoarding person who probably walks around the streets with plastic bags full of junk. And I found it very refreshing in the comments on the subreddit, which is obviously very, skewed towards you because it's your subreddit. I thought this was going to be the tone of the conversation. And I found it very refreshing how many people thought you were the crazy one.
What I would say to that is, yes, there was definitely a whole bunch of agreement with you that I sound a little bit crazy. But I still defend my position. Although I do want to say a couple of people, and I've been doing this on the Twitter as well, were directing me toward the minimalism section of Reddit. Just to be clear, people, I'm not like a minimalist. I am more just a functionalist. That I don't like objects that aren't doing something in the house or serving some kind of purpose. If it's just there, I don't know. I don't like them. I was complaining about it on Twitter earlier, and I was tweeting some pictures of some houses that were beautiful houses, but they're just filled with pointless stuff, like a decorative horn on a table, or like plants all over the place, especially fake plants all over the place. Like that.
I saw that when you tweeted,
though,
Gray. I saw that when you tweeted where you said, "Beautiful house. I can't believe how they've ruined it with all the clutter."
Yeah.
So I went and had a look at the pictures. And there wasn't that much stuff in it.
Oh, no.
I thought it was pretty Spartan.
No, did you? Oh, okay. You know what? It's making me angry. Okay, so people, I'm going to put a link to this thing. I'm
not saying it was like all white walls. It did have stuff in it, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't, I was expecting it to be one of those, TV show documentary, House from Hell, up to the ceiling with rubbish. And it just had a few nice objects. I'm seriously thinking of withdrawing the invite that I've extended to you to come to my new place.
Well,
I don't think you'll be able to handle it.
Again,
and I haven't even got that much stuff.
Well, you forget. I was in your old house, and also you forget. When I'm looking at these things, I'm judging them by the standard of would I want to live there. And so I don't. When I go into somebody else's home, I'm not thinking, oh God, look at all this person's stuff. Because I'm not in that mindset of would I live in this person's house, but I'm visiting somebody else's house. It's totally different.
So you're saying you wouldn't have lived in my house?
I would. Well, not the way you had decorated it. No, I would not have lived in your house the way you would have decorated. I'm sorry to you and the missus, but no, if I lived there, I would decorate it totally differently. But no, I'll put a link to this place. So there's this.
I think our house is lovely.
Your house is lovely. I'm not going to argue that. But it's a different question of would I decorate your house the way that it is decorated? I would not. Okay, anyway, people, I'm going to put a link in the description to the show that you can go look at. And it's the interior of a house, which I think is beautiful because I like the textures. So I don't actually like empty white rooms. For various reasons, I don't like being in a place that is all white. So this house has like gorgeous mountain views, and the walls are stone and the floor is wood, and it's beautiful. But I'm just looking in these pictures, and they just have like a dead tree branch that's acting as ornament in one location. There's this twisted horn on a table that serves absolutely no purpose. There's gross, just fake plants
it reflects
that do
the
nothing.
Outside and the heritage of the place. It's in a forest.
God, no. They have this horrible, like, crystal lamp that just ruins absolutely everything.
I'm not saying the place was to my taste. It wasn't. I just wouldn't have described it as cluttered.
I'm not saying it's cluttered. I'm just saying that they ruin it with all of their stuff. Oh, and in the bathroom here, this is the worst. There's like just a chunk of amethyst randomly on the counter, and like a little, I don't know, a cactus or something horrible. And it's like, why don't you just have that beautiful countertop clean? Just don't put something totally pointless on there. It's infuriating to me.
But you don't mind like the stone walls though, and all the wood, even though that comes from nature and it's dirty.
No,
I think a cow pooed on that stone once and things like that.
I assume that it is clean. But no, the reason I picked this house out in particular is because I love the look of the dark stone walls, and I love the look of the wood textures. I just think, you don't need all these fake plants. You don't need a ram's horn on the table. You don't need all of this junk on your lighting fixtures. It's just hideous. Like the things that they put there. So Anyway, maybe that's enough about this.
So believe it or not, if I continue to just watch map games in every single one of my videos, I kind of want to commit seppuku, and I don't want to do that yet. Maybe in the future, I don't know, we'll see. But I want to observe some more history memes and look into some of the more confusing ones if we stumble upon it. But anyways, let's get into it. History review. I can see where this is going already, so that's how we're starting this off. Let's see if this is an original take. Oh, it looks like they're that went well.